When I was a kid, I'd get home from school, second, third, fourth, fifth grade, about 3:30, quarter to 4, and my mom would usually finished up her workaday chores, whether it was cooking or ironing or shopping or whatever it was for that particular day, and she'd take a few minutes and relax in front of her soap operas. The Edge of Night, all that kind of stuff. Well, I can remember that she was like really excited, and then the show would end and it would be like, oh my goodness, now I gotta watch tomorrow to find out what happened. I'm starting to feel the same way about this whole thing going on with Donald Trump and the Mar-a-Lago FBI raid, that you gotta stay tuned till tomorrow to find out what happened. As sands flow through the hourglass, so go the days of our lives. Yep, the continuing soap opera of the Mar-a-Lago raid. And you gotta stay tuned till tomorrow to find out what happened today. It's amazing. Well, anyway, Trump and his legal team have requested the court to appoint a special master. Now, apparently a special master is an independent, not a court employee, not a member of the administration or a member of the Department of Justice or anything. So an independent person who would oversee the documents that the FBI lifted from Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence and go through them all, make determinations on which ones were protected by attorney-client privilege, which ones may have been improperly taken, which ones may be this or may be that. And so he's made that filing, and there's supposed to be a hearing on it, I think, on Thursday. Well, the Department of Justice apparently has responded to that, saying, well, we've already had our team look at all this stuff, so a special master isn't going to be necessary, which is very much like knocking on the door of your chicken coop and asking the fox if it'd be okay if we could like check and see if the chickens are okay. And the fox says, oh, you don't have to do that. I got everything under control. Well, that's what's going on right now. And it really is starting to feel like one of the biggest grandiose baloney fests I've ever seen. I don't believe that the DOJ or the FBI have got enough information to perfect any kind of criminal charges against Donald Trump. But, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm certainly not a federal prosecutor. But if Jim Comey can come out and say that there would be no prosecutor in their right mind would ever be able to bring charges against Hillary Clinton for the same thing, that same kind of logic may need to apply here. I don't think they've got enough. In fact, what I think they're afraid of is that Donald Trump has got enough information on them about the Russian collusion hoax, the PP tape, the spying on his campaign, that he's got that documentation, and now they think they've got it, so they don't want to tell anybody about it. They're going to try to keep it as quiet as they can and hope that this whole thing just kind of goes away. They'll return certain things and keep certain things, and everybody will come to some deal in the back room, and that'll be it, and we'll never really find out what's going on. That's sort of my prediction of what's going on here. But then again, Donald Trump's a very difficult guy to second guess. He's already threatened to call for a new election to replace what happened in 2020 because he feels it's been wrongfully adjudicated in the opposition's favor. The revelations that Zuckerberg gave to Joe Rogan the other day are pretty concerning. And if you get all your news from MSNBC and CNN and the Young Turks and places like that, or even on The View, you're probably not going to hear much about this because they don't think Joe Rogan's worth it. They don't believe that Mark Zuckerberg could have possibly ever done anything wrong, so they just don't kind of cover that kind of a story. But that is one of the most damning statements anybody's ever made. And the way he said it is that the FBI came to us and said, hey, there's some troubling stuff out there and you should take the appropriate steps. And they were talking about Hunter Biden's laptop, which didn't get released until after the election. And then there's polls that are saying that could have had a direct impact on the outcome of the 2020 election. And that's why Trump is kind of saying, Lord knows what he's going to be able to get away with, but that's why he's saying that there should be a new election, or that he should just be installed as president. We'll call it that. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I believe that we followed the Constitution to the degree that we followed the Constitution on January 6th, and the ballots were approved and all that, and Joe Biden's our president, like it or not, and it's already a big mess. And God knows what it would look like if Donald Trump had been able to stay in for that 4 more years. But I guess we'll find out in 2024 when they count the ballots again. So we'll have to see how that turns out. I spent the morning today doing some outdoor landscaping chores, and we've got a brick walkway at the front of our house, and in between the bricks, weeds start growing and they started popping up. So I got the weed whacker out and I trimmed all that down to the roots, but you can't get the string trimmer down into the cracks. So I said, hey, I got one of those pump up sprayers. And so I went and retrieved that, got it cleaned out, filled it up with Epsom salts, vinegar, and a little bit of Dawn dish soap. And got it all mixed up. And the seals on the pump sprayer just didn't hold. It just started bubbling up, and I couldn't get anything to work. So I ended up just kind of taking it apart. Had a whole, probably 1.5 gallons of solution in this 2.5 gallon sprayer. So I just splashed it all up and down the brick walkway out front, hoping that that's going to kill some of the weeds that were growing up in between the bricks. And while I was doing that, guess what I found? Some poison ivy that was growing in the along the hedges right by our front walkway. And I apparently got into that because it itches like crazy. And I never knew that I was allergic to or had sensitivity to poison ivy. But earlier this year, I got into it when we were doing some landscaping and some trimming around, and I got into it and got things spread, the leaves from the poison ivy splashed on my arms and stuff like that, and just got into it again this morning. Itches like crazy. So the calamine lotion, while it soothes it just a little bit, doesn't really make it go away. So I'll be putting up with this for probably 5 to 7 days, just this really itchy hand kind of a thing. But anyway, those are the trials and tribulations of owning a home. So enjoy. Hey, this is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.